I was just having a discussion with friends about the good old days before Twitter.com. You kind of didn't know who the authors were. You didn't know much about them. They were kind of reclusive, just kind of doing their own thing. They were making their books. They were offline. They could have their private conversations with their friends and all that, and who knows? But you didn't know every detail about them. Didn't know that they hated you. Didn't know that they're going to be rambling about presidents and congressmen and this and that on the internet all day long. And it was a much healthier experience and relationship between, I'd say, producer and customer. And I wish we could get away with those days without having to be on the internet and promoting at this point. But, unfortunately, we do. And this is why we're here. So thank you, everybody who does check out the books. I've got a bunch of awesome books, from sci-fi books to fantasy books to comics. I got superhero comics, I got fantasy comics, I got sci-fi comics. I try to do a little something for everybody. And that way, I hope that you'll check out something, get in on one of the books, understand that I'm a good writer, and just be on board and have some fun. I don't really care where you stand politically. I want you to support the books. I want you to have fun reading. And I want you to be part of the team because I love you guys, and I can't do this without you. So I've got a bunch of links in the description. If you want to support the channel, go to my Amazon page, buy what speaks to you. Flying Sparks is kind of my big flagship comic. I've got a Patreon. I've got a newsletter. If you sign up for the newsletter, you can get the comic for free. Hang out and do that today. All right. Yeah, Comics Pros are still going at Trump. And it's just unbelievable. It's 2021. The guy hasn't been in office for close to a year. And yet he lives so rent-free in these people's heads. They're just constantly thinking about him. And I don't get it. I was looking at a book by Kat Rambo, who's the president of the Science Fiction Writers of America for several years. And she made this whole dystopian book about Trump and Pence and how the future is going to be just a disaster with them. I mean, that's what they're doing. I guess that's what they're trying to get as an audience, is political activists and not normal people anymore. It just sounds not fun to read. And not to mention, the shelf life of that is not even around anymore. Doesn't make sense. But they keep going at this. This is Paul Kupperberg. Paul Kupperberg is a great writer, and it really saddens me. I mean, this is a full-on boomer take. And I was told to leave him alone. He's just a boomer. He doesn't know. And there's some truth to that. But you know what? We have to shame the boomers in our lives if we want them to stop booming, because otherwise they're going to be the boomerest boomers that you have ever boomed. And you don't want that around you or your circles. It ruins societies. It ruins civilizations. And that's what we have. So he's really known for a lot of his work on Doom Patrol, Supergirl, Checkmate, a bunch of the DC comics. He did a bunch of Archie stuff too. Really great writer. Like I said, I loved everything he did back in the 70s and 80s. And all of that stuff was very fun. There were no political signaling really in that whatsoever. But he's lost his way in his elderly years here. And here he goes, trying to sell a book on writing comics. It reminds me of the Stone Toss comic, where they talk about their genders and races and all that in the board marketing meeting. And then the guy chimes in and goes, "How's this going to help us sell soap?" And they go, "Soap?" And this is it. How's this going to help you sell a book on writing comics?
A book that would have been banned by Trump University because you can actually learn something from it. Ha ha! Gotcha, Trump! Gotcha, Trump tards! Ha 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 ha!
I guess that's it. And then he asks you to buy his book. So I don't get it. I don't see what that has to do with anything. This is such an irrelevant talking point. This is like a DNC talking point from the campaign in 2016. This was like a Hillary Clinton talking point. That's how far out of touch it is with reality and right now. It just makes no sense. And I guarantee you, this sold him no books. I mean, the guy's got a small following, as it is, 2,500 people. And what? He got 3 likes out of that? So obviously that tactic's not working very well. And I guarantee you, he probably got no click-throughs from this posting right here. That's what they're doing. This is what the Comics Pros do these days. That's where they're at. And that's why we have to fight against this stuff. We need to change culture so this is not something that's normal, that this is not something that the standard in the industry is, that you don't have to signal this crap in order to be within the industry. We want to write good comics. We want to have fun. We want to have great audience and creator interactions. We want to have great customer service. And that is what we're about over here. And I hope if you haven't joined us already, you will join us in the future. All right, let me know what you think about this. Again, oh man, This is pretty cringe. That's about all you could say about it. Hit the like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.